through the storm, I will hold you, keep you warm. When you stay in the night, I will shelter, I will fight, I will fight. You're broken and you're shattered at the point of no return. You pick up the pieces and you let the bridges burn. So come to the water, you're sailing with the breeze. Take a step into the river, where you will find peace. Where you go through the storm, I will hold you, keep you warm. When you stay in the night, I will shelter, I will fight. Oh yeah, I will fight. When you go through the storm, I will hold you, keep you warm. When you stay in the night, I will shelter, I will fight, I will fight. I will fight. So come to the water, where you will find peace. Take a step into the river and get down on your knees. So this is 27. It doesn't matter what I've been through. I should grow up too, but I still act like I'm 11. I'm not emotionally sound since I left you. You know I don't like to be the bad guy. I won't be surprised if I'm the last one now. But I had you where I wanted you, never had to ask. I'd set the world on fire just to get it back. I don't know how it feels to be someone you love, and it gets me down, down, down. Yeah, I had you where I wanted you, never had to ask. I'd set the world on fire just to get it back. Don't know how it feels to be someone you love, and it gets me down. I let it slip somehow. I let it slip somehow. So this is 27. Start the music, kill the silence. Let my mind rest. Pour a drink cause it's effective. Can't seem to get my head around why I left you. And no, I don't like to be the bad guy. You know I don't lie, I really miss you now. But I had you where I wanted you, never had to ask. I'd set the world on fire just to get it back. I don't know how it feels to be someone you love, and it gets me down. Yeah, I had you where I wanted you, had you by my side. Was all I ever needed, but couldn't realize I don't You're a lonely sailor, and your soul is made of wind and rain, doubts and blame. I'm a weary pirate, and my heart is made of dust and grain and spoiled champagne. I've got troubles, I've got sins, I'm my worst enemy, but I've still got a lot to give. So I said, hey, don't you wanna come and run away with me? Hey, won't you come, and say by chance, don't you want me, a man who fully understands a sailor's heart, a sailor's heart. You're a born survivor, and you'll never find yourself in love. You're wise enough. I got troubles, I got sins, I'm my worst enemy, but I still got a lot to give. So I said, hey, don't you wanna come and run away with me? Hey, won't you come, and say by chance, don't you want me, a man who fully understands a sailor's heart, a sailor's heart. So I said, hey, don't you wanna come and run away with me? Hey, won't you come, and say by chance, don't you want me, man who fully understands. So I said, hey, don't you wanna come and run away with me? Hey, won't you come, and say by chance, don't you want me, man who fully
White is the color of flowers in springtime, red the color of blood through my veins, blue is the color of when you were leaving. Tell me, let me know what you feel inside, 'cause you don't know by name. You don't know me by name. It's like you don't know me by name. look at me like I'm crazy when I shut my feelings out. You look at me like I'm different, still you stay cause you feel something real. Get so lost in my moments, doesn't mean I don't need you. I fell in love with your colors, they kinda tell me what I'm thinking. I fell in love with the way we are and the way we lose it. There's something different about us, and the reason why we stay. We fly around like paper planes, they never know where we will fall. Nobody can see us, still they wanna tear us apart. There's something different about the way we are. There's something different about us. There's something different about us. We're pouring cup after cup after cup. Yeah, it's just the way we do it. Anything just to block out the real life, real life. Yeah, we're loving the way they think we're so messed up. Even if what we're doing is bad, there's so many emotions, sharing stories that we never had. Yeah, none is real. I think we're searching for reasons not to be like them. We fly around like paper planes, they never know where we will fall. Nobody can see us, still they wanna tear us apart. There's something different about the way we are. There's something different about us. There's something different about us. There's something different about the way we are. There's something different about the way we are. time on stuff that doesn't really matter, while wishing for something better. I try to fix things that weren't broken, misunderstandings and words unspoken. We fall apart and I won't dare to say, do you feel the same way? Maybe you don't wanna know, but you don't see what you have in front of you. Or maybe I'm not enough for you, so maybe I should go. If I had known from the start, this wouldn't have ended with broken hearts. 'Cause I don't wanna waste my time. Same way, then don't pretend that everything's okay. Don't string me along the way you do. Just let me get over you. Maybe you don't wanna know, but you don't see what you have in front of you. Or maybe I'm not enough for you, so maybe I should go. If I had known from the start, this wouldn't have ended with broken hearts. 'Cause I don't wanna waste my time, no. I don't wanna waste my time, no. Maybe you don't wanna know, you don't see what you have in front of you. Or maybe I'm not enough for you, so maybe I should go. If I had known from the start, this wouldn't have ended with broken hearts. 'Cause I don't wanna waste my time, no. I don't wanna waste my time, no. No, I don't wanna waste my time. herself a guy, and he's good, no he's great. Everything she wanted packed behind the pretty face. But I kinda hope he breaks her heart into little pieces and let me pick them all back up and put them back together. But I can't believe I let you slip. I think about it 7 days a week, and this just can't be how it's supposed to end up. Cause what if you should really be with me? I wonder what the hell you didn't see. But honestly I can't remember if I loved you, but it feels like I do when I think about you now. What if I just wanna be with you? Oh, I don't know what the hell I'm gonna do. But honestly, I can't remember if you loved me, or maybe I'm just feeling lonely, I don't know. Just let it go. But what if you should really be with me? I wonder what the hell you didn't see. Honestly, I can't remember if I loved you, but it feels like I do when I think about you now.
Should old acquaintance be forgot and never brought to mind? Should old acquaintance be forgot and days of old lang syne? For old lang syne, my dear, for old lang syne, we'll talk a cup of kindness kindness yet for days of old lang syne. And here's a hand, my trusty friend, and here's a hand of thine. We'll talk a cup of kindness yet for old lang syne. For old lang syne, my dear, for old lang syne. We'll talk a cup of kindness yet